What's up, YouTube? I am Gallard74 here, bringing you week 4 of Matt Oshea's Ocean League. Matt Oshea's Twitter and his YouTube links will be in the description as always. This week we are facing off against the Amarillo Azumarills, coached by Arctic Something. We are going into this game with a nice 2-1 record, while he is 1-2, I believe. So that's that. He has not sent me a logo yet, and this recording is really late. The video won't go up late, but the recording is, so something will be there. Maybe his logo won't be. It might be just the Ocean League logo. I don't know. That's what the thumbnail is going to be. But anyway, before we get into the video, I'm going to update you guys real quick. For the IBA semifinals game, has not gone up yet. It should have went up last week, but I had major problems exporting the video for some reason. I got all the way to the end, and my computer is really slow, so it took a while, and then it had an error, and that happens like 3 or 4 times. I tried changing things. So until that gets resolved, we're just going to have Ocean League uploads for now. And I have an update video that I had to revamp now, because that was also supposed to go up, but since this has been such a very hectic week at my house, I haven't been able to upload that. So, yeah. Aside from that, we're going to go over his team. Of course, I don't have it pulled up. Actually, here it is right here. His team, and he is not a division rival. He's a conference rival, so I can go over this. Unless he makes playoffs, I do not face him again. He has a team of Mega Diancie, Aegislash, Victini with Z moves, well, like status Z, outside of like C Celebrate, Hydreigon, Nidoqueen, Shaman, Snorlax, Hitmontop, Lapras, Oricorio, all forms, and Pinsir. I personally really like his team. He has got a lot of Pokemon that I think are really fun to use. Some, do they play around with each other? I'm not sure. But anyway, I thought I came up with a pretty good game plan, and the Pokemon I am bringing consists of Tyrantrum, Florges, Donphan, Zeraora, Slowbro, and Mega Charizard Y. So we are going to get into this team builder, as our first Pokemon we are bringing is Tyrantrum. Tyrantrum is holding the ground EMZ with Dragon Dance, Head Smash, Earthquake, and Superpower, Max Attack, Adamant Nature, 224 Speed, and 32 HP. Outside of Hitmontop, Tyrantrum just destroys this man's team. If I'm going to be real, 224 Speed with +1 Dragon Dance outspeeds everything on his team, barring any Scarfers, and if Victini's a Scarf, well, Tyrantrum handles Victini very easily. And if Shaman's a Scarf, then I have easy ways around that. But if it's not a Scarf, it could be a problem. But anyway, even without the +1/+1, Tyrantrum just goes in on a lot of his team as well. This includes like Lapras, Oricorio, and Victini itself. And you might be thinking that Aegislash looks pretty nice here, but if I'm at +1 and he doesn't go for King Shield, a Z Earthquake OHKOs it guaranteed. So, and I don't think he'll be expecting that move on it either. So this thing, again, just goes ham on his team once I get up to +1/+1. I want to try and get it up on like Victini that's locked into something, because if he brings Choice Card Victini, which it's a likely bring, I could definitely take full advantage of that. And I believe I can also take advantage of Oricorio, though I don't really see Oricorio coming as well. But that is the Tyrantrum set. The next Pokemon we are bringing is Florges. Florges is holding the leftovers with Moonblast, Calm Mind, Wish, and Heal Bell. 248 HP, 28 defense, 200 special defense with Calm Nature, and 32 speed. This thing is really fast. I put speed for the general speed creeping, I believe. There was something, I think it was a no speed Nidoqueen or something like that. I don't 100% remember what the speed was there for. The Florges is an absolutely big hit or miss on this team, because Florges walls a lot of his mons very hard, like Hitmontop, for example, and it walls a special Victini very hard, and Hydreigon. Hydreigon mainly is what Florges is here for. And it also walls a Lapras too. But then it also gets demolished by Victini, Aegislash, Snorlax, and Nidoqueen. So I have to be really careful of that. It just depends on what team he brings. Florges could be good, it could be pretty bad. I don't remember why I put Heal Bell in there, but Calm Mind was for the off chance he doesn't bring Aegislash or Snorlax, which I'm sure he'll bring one of them. Calm Mind's actually looking really nasty against this team. But our third Pokemon we are bringing is Donphan. Donphan is holding the Citrus Berry, because I don't know how to use the Wiki Berry or any of those berries for my life, and I don't trust them. With the moves Stealth Rock, Roar, Earthquake, and Rapid Spin. 248 HP, 76 attack, 80 defense with an Impish Nature, and 104 speed. This speed is to speed creep a non-speed Hitmontop, or a little bit of speed Hitmontop, I think. Donphan, if you look at his team, look at his first few mons. He's got Mega Diancie, Aegislash, Victini, and there's Nidoqueen there too. His top 4 or 5 mons are weak to ground. Granted, Hydreigon is immune to it, but, you know, I have Florges already. Donphan, I originally had an offensive Donphan on the team, but the speed 2 was just a little too bad for Donphan, and I can't run Trick Room for this team because his team's actually kind of slow, so I couldn't do that. So I just decided to run a more standard Donphan with Earthquake. It still does really good work against his team. Rocks are good for against his team as well. This thing can deal with Snorlax. It's kind of my best way to counter it, because a Curse Lax is always scary against any team, really. Donphan, Hardwall's the pincer pretty much. A physical Aegis Slash can't do much to this thing, though it can be special. I have to figure out which one it is. And that's kind of it. It can actually stop Hitmontop as well. It can eat Intimidates, and then if it wants to take a turn of the Rapid Spin, I can take full advantage of that by switching into something else. I'm not sure. But that's the Donphan set for this week. And the next Pokemon we are bringing is Zeraora. Zeraora is holding the Choice Band with Plasma Fist to knock off Close Combat and Volt Switch, 252 attack with an Adamant Nature, 12 defense, 128 HP, and 116 speed. Again, his team is pretty slow, so this outspeeds everything barring any Scarfers. And his only electric immunity is Nidoqueen, and anything else that's not named Nidoqueen does not want to take an electric hit. That is Choice Banded. I could see Hydreigon coming as a special defensive wall for my Charizard, so he won't be fully physically bulky, so he still won't want to take it. And I have Close Combat on that set anyway. And then lastly, he's got the Nidoqueen, and Close Combat still does a decent chunk to that if it's an offensive variant of Nidoqueen. I think he's going to bring a defensive Stealth Rocker Nidoqueen to set up rocks, take hits from my team, take hits from the Zeraora to be example, but I can still knock it off and all that stuff, and Volt Switch just for, general switching around. I think Zeraora is going to be really good for this team if Nidoqueen doesn't even come. So there's that. And our fifth Pokemon we're bringing is Slowbro. Slowbro, this was a weird set. It has running the moves Scald, Psychic, Ice Beam, Trick, 248 HP, 252 special defense with the Sassy Nature, 8 special attack with the Iron Ball. Now, I went back and forth between Iron Ball and Choice Spec so many times. I ran Iron Ball because, while the Snorlax can set up on this thing, if I can trick it in Iron Ball, its recovery is very limited. If it's got Rest, I can take advantage of that. Its Berry I'll take, and that's why I ran a Sassy Nature over the Calm Nature, because if he was one of those berries, I could be confused, and yeah, I actually had to do research for that, believe it or not. I needed Slowbro for the team because my special walls were lacking. Florges and Superior are both weak to Poison, and that's kind of a big deal for Nidoqueen, so I had to make a Nidoqueen switch in, and that's Slowbro's my Nidoqueen switch in. It is also switching to Diancie as well. It can take hits really well from Diancie as long as it's not boosting. I do have to be careful because, as I mentioned earlier, I do have Mega Charizard on this team, and if the sun's up, my Scalds aren't doing too much. That's the only problem with Slowbro. Slowbro also walls Oricorio if he's going to bring it. Again, I don't think he's going to bring it. And then Hitmontop as well. So that is what the Slowbro set is. I didn't want to run Choice Specs because for the off chance I tricked, he switches in Hydreigon and I tricked him with Choice Specs. That sucks. But anyway, our last Pokemon is Mega Charizard Y. Mega Charizard Y is running Flamethrower, Toxic, Roost Protect, Max Special Attack, 240 Speed with a Timid Nature, and 16 HP. This outspeeds Hydreigon, that's not Scarf. This blows back some of his offensive threats like Aegis Slash, this blowback Shaman. I didn't really have a Shaman switching up to this point with all of his coverage moves, so I needed something, and this was my best way of handling it. I'm expecting HP Rock on Shaman if it comes, which I'm sure it will. So I have to be careful about that. But if it's Scarfed and it outspeeds me, then it won't OHKO. And I can just roost off the damage. That's why I have Toxic Roost. Toxic for the Snorlax as well. Nothing really wants to take a Flamethrower on his team. Diancie before it Mega Evolves can, but once it Mega Evolves, it takes a lot of damage from Flamethrower. And Slowbro is a switch-in still. And lastly, Diancie doesn't have reliable recovery. So even just some chip damage is pretty good on it. And same with Victini as well. Victini can just get chipped down. Hydreigon's probably might be a switch-in for this thing. If not, maybe AV Nidoqueen. That still doesn't want to take it too much. Or Snorlax, of course. I'm actually expecting the Snorlax to be a nice switch in the Charizard. That is it for the team builder, though. I want to see if I have any other notes written down. I think I said everything here. Charizard beats Pinsir. I mean, that's self-explanatory. But yeah, that is the team builder. I hope you guys enjoyed that portion of the video, but we are going to move on to the battle. So here we are in the battle, and the first thing I'm noticing is that he didn't bring the Snorlax or the Mega Diancie. So Mega Charizard Y is actually looking pretty good for this matchup, I'm not going to lie. His main switch is either Hydreigon or Bulky Victini at this point. I realized Donphan doesn't do too much, so I decided to lead with it and get up rocks. He sends out Shaman, which really sucks, but luckily he just goes for Hidden Power Rock, which I assumed he would have had. This time I'm expecting him to go for Seed Flare, and I know Florges can take it pretty well, so I just switch into that, hoping to not get a special defense drop, and we don't. I should have switched into Charizard there, but, whatever. Knowing that Florges gives Aegis free switch, and I am going to go into Charizard now and pull an aggressive double, as, again, I don't think he's going to go for HP Rock. So now I get a free Flamethrower off, and he does show the switch into Hydreigon, and I'm just going to Mega Evolve and fire off a Flamethrower, as it does a lot to anything. And this damage shows that he is actually AV Hydreigon. Now, knowing that he's very bulky, I'm just going to go for Toxic to try to whittle this thing down, and he goes for the Stone Edge. and he misses the attack, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is huge, because that's still Oko's Charizard, even with no investment. And I'm going for Protect now and get more toxic damage, and that is such a big miss for my opponent. And that really sucks, because if Charizard would have died, that would have been really bad for my team. He's spamming Stone Edge now, so I'm just going to switch in the Donphan and take advantage of it, and he's getting whittled down by Toxic pretty much right now. This turn, I believe he switches and goes back in the Shaman, as I'm going to Roar, expecting him to do that, as I don't want Shaman coming in for free, basically. I do Roar and Nidoqueen, which is pretty nice. I can fire off an Earthquake, even though I believe I Roar again this turn. Yeah, he goes in the Shaman, and I think I Roar. No, I Earthquake. Okay, I Earthquake this turn. Again, Donphan didn't really serve much of a purpose outside of maybe Physical Victini, but Slowbro kind of did that job already. This turn I'm going to Roar as he reveals Synthesis, which is a good brain because of the sun. It heals up a lot more extra HP. Here, he takes more toxic damage. He's going to die. He has no switch-ins. He's going to Dark Pulse, and he actually flinches me. Spoiler alert, because Citrus Berry went off. And he is going to go down to Toxic, and his only switch into Hydreigon, into Charizard, is gone. Victini might be switching, but until he Rapid Spins with Hitmontop, those rocks are there. Here, again, I'm going to reiterate that Donphan is not really needed, and he's going to go for Hidden Power. I'm going to Roar, as he does just go for Hidden Power, as I go back into Nidoqueen. A little more chip damage, it's not doing too much. Here I'm going to switch out and keep Donphan as a sack for later, as I go into Slowbro, which is a reliable switch-in. Slowbro, again, also doesn't do too much now that Dynasty didn't show up. They can wall the Nidoqueen and do a good job against Hitmontop. Here I can go for the Ice Beam, because if he shows up in the Shaman, which he does, it'll do a lot of damage. He needs to Synthesis here, so I'm just going to Charizard, and he does go for Synthesis. He does get a lot of HP back, but that is okay, because now I have Mega Charizard Y on the field, and something's got to take a Flamethrower. Turns out this time it's going to be Victini after it takes a round of rocks, and it does 40%. Now, I could stay in, but I'm kind of scared to see if this thing is Scarfed. I can Protect to see what he's going to go for, as he does go for the Bull Trick. I expected him to have that, and Sun Turn's going to wear it out a little bit too. Now here I'm going to make a risky play and go into Zera Aura, hoping this thing will be Scarfed, but he does get me on this play and goes into Nidoqueen. Works out for him because Zera Aura cannot touch Nidoqueen, really. I don't want to take so much damage. I'm going to go into Donphan because, again, I don't need Donphan too much. He goes with Thunderbolt. I'm immune to it, which was kind of a weird play. Maybe he thought Slowbro was coming. Here I'm trying to sack. If he's got the Ice Beam, he's going to show it, but he actually doesn't. It turns out he doesn't have the Ice Beam. I'm just going to Roar out because I thought I was going to die there. Goes into Hitmontop. Attack. I get the Intimidate drop. It's not really going to matter too much. I can save Donphan again. I can just go into Florges, as he is actually going to go for the Stone Edge, so that does a decent amount of damage to Florges too. I do have leftovers though, so I can live the next Stone Edge barring a crit. He's just going to switch out into Nidoqueen though. I go to Moonblast because if I can chip down that Hitmontop, Tyrantrum basically just wins the game. But again, he just went into Nidoqueen. Here, he shows that he does have at least a little bit of speed, because Florges with speed creeping and no speed Nidoqueen, and if it's faster, then there's that. Here I wish up, but then I realized that I don't really want anything else taking a Sludge Wave, so I'm just going to let Florges drop. So the wish was kind of useless. I should have went for Moonblast. But here's that free switch in the Charizard I was talking about, and something's got to take a Flamethrower, and Victini's going to take a lot of rocks damage and drop to this Flamethrower. So Charizard is putting it in the finest of work right now, getting rid of Hydreigon and Victini. Again, it really sucks because that Stone Edge miss was absolutely huge, and Charizard would be a big problem. Now here switches back into Nidoqueen, and that was really sus on his part, because if he switched out and went back into Victini, why would you switch back out? But turns out he went for Rock Slide. I'm thinking this thing is definitely Choice Scarf. Like, I'm 500% sure it's Choice Scarf. So I'm going to go into Tyrantrum, and he does go for Rock Slide. He misses. Doesn't really matter here. Now, this is big because since Victini is gone, I need to find something else to set up a DD on, and this is the Pokemon to do it on now that I know that he is Choice Scarf. I'm not going to do it now, however, because Hitmontop's still around, as I do pull a nice double into my Slowbro. And I believe I just fire off a Psychic. He goes for Stone Edge and misses. He is having some very bad luck with Stone Edge. I go for the trick, actually, with my Iron Ball to get rid of its berry or whatever item it was. I just want to know what item it was. Now I go for the Psychic, as he does go into Shaman, takes some nice rocks damage, and Psychic's going to do a decent amount of damage to get him kind of low. Now, he might be ballsy and goes for the HP Rock, because I'm going to go into Donphan and try and sack it for the billionth time, and he goes for the HP Rock, and I'm just like, damn, dude. He's taking Life Orb damage. He's going to go for Synthesis. I believe I just go for Roar here because, yeah, no, I go for Earthquake. Okay. I really want my Donphan. My Donphan's been around for so long in this battle. But again, I know he told me after the battle that he didn't want Mega Charizard again free switching, so it's completely understandable. Now, I'm starting to think he might just Synthesis up to the point where he's at 100%. and I'm thinking about it. So if he synthesis this turn, he'll be at 100, which sucks, but I'm going to roar him out, and he is going to go into the Hitmon top. It sucks that none of his mons really take much from rocks anymore, but it's still nice chip damage. Here I'm going to save it for another sack and go right into Slowbro as he goes for the Mach Punch, showing that he has the Mach Punch. Here I can just fire off nothing because I switch out into Zero Aura. I forgot I did that. I need to get this Hitmontop a little low because my plan is to get Tyrantrum in, and Flamethrower still barely doesn't kill if it's a really bulky Hitmontop. But I go for Close Combat, does a lot, and he knocks me out with the Close Combat himself. I didn't go for Plasma Fist because Nidoqueen, I didn't want to have free switching, but here comes Charizard again, and Charizard is going to just claim another kill. He goes for Mach Punch. He's going to do a decent 11%, and I go for Flamethrower, and Hitmontop drops. Charizard again, just becoming he's just such a beast. He's going to switch in Nidoqueen because it's Scarfed, and I'm going to go for Protect for the off chance he gets really ballsy and clicks another move, so I can tell what move he goes for. But he goes for the Rock Slide here. I'm not going to stay in because I need Charizard for the last two Mons, being Shaman and Aegislash. And I'm just going to Donphan and sack it as he ends up going for the Rock Slide again, and it doesn't kill. But he will outspeed me and kill this turn. So, except that he actually misses that Rock Slide, and I go for the Oathbreak and knock it out. This miss actually didn't matter. I know it was kind of a controversial miss during the battle, but the thing is, if he would have knocked me out there, I would have sent out Tyrantrum, set up a Dragon Dance in his face, unless he flinched me a billion times, which is unlikely. Dragon Dance, and I basically just win the game. Here he sends in Shaman, and Donphan actually finally drops in this game, and Mega Charizard Y can come in and just clean up the game at this point, because he cannot do anything about this Flamethrower, and the sun ended at the perfect time there, too. I'm just going to fire a Flamethrower. Shaman is dead. And this Aegislash, Shadow Sneak's not going to be nearly enough to OHKO my Charizard, and Flamethrower is going to do a lot. It's going to knock it out, basically. Here he's going to go for the King Shield. It's not really going to matter at this point, because Flamethrower is just going to knock it out the next turn anyway. I don't think you can only get so many King Shields in a row as well. And he just stays in, and that is the game. So GG to Arctic something. I really apologize for that Stone Edge miss. You guys couldn't tell. That Stone Edge miss was huge. If Charizard drops, you saw every time something dropped on my team, I just sent in Charizard and claimed my kill. So I couldn't, I don't know, it was just huge. That was probably one of the biggest misses in all my draft league performances at least. So I don't know how much I deserve this win. But anyway, GG to him. I do not have his logo, so again, he is in the Ocean League as well. So there's that. Thank you guys for watching. I'm trying to remember if I have anything else to say before I head out of here. Next week, we take on our last division rival in the Monterey Speedcoons, coached by Jed Swarley, I think you say his name. So make sure you look out for that next week. I'm going to try and get my IBA semifinals game up as soon as possible. With all that, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like. If you like Pokemon Draft League content, consider subscribing to the channel as I'm trying to post more. That is all I got for you guys. Have a fantastic day, YouTube.